Good morning. Sorry, it's been a few days, guys. I didn't know Friday that it'd almost be a week before I'd be back with you, but been a little sick, and so had a few days off, but feeling better now. Up, of course, ready, going toward the work day. But welcome to the Early Bird Gets the Word Daily Devotion, where we wake up with the Word, so we spend our day walking in the Word. We're still in Galatians, looking at Paul's writing to the church of Galatia. And Friday, if you remember, it's been a few days now, but we started talking about the idea, maybe even Thursday, of being changed and how Paul has given his testimony in this letter of how he has been changed by Christ. And in verse 15 and 16 in Galatians chapter 1, he says this. He says, "But when it pleased God, who separated me from my mother's womb and called me by his grace, to reveal his Son in me, that I might preach him among the heathen, immediately I conferred not with flesh and blood." You know, recently, in recent months, I've lost I have lost over 40 pounds. And I did that purposefully and had a reason for that. But, you know, you lose weight and people's got all kinds of comments about that. But I needed to do it for my health and other reasons, but so I lost that weight. But one comment that I get, and ladies, don't get mad at me here, just hear me out. But a lot of times, after losing 40 pounds, that's a lot of weight to lose. I would be somewhere or something, and there's been several people, especially ladies, have said to me, "Well, it's just easier for men to lose weight than women." And I'm not going to go against that claim. I don't have any research or anything, and that might well very be true. But they would say that after I tell them, "Wow, you've lost a lot of weight. What did you do and all this?" And then they would just, some, not all, would make the comment, "Well, it's just easier for men to lose weight than women." And I would think, well, wait a minute here. That may be true, but I promise you, if you followed what I did to lose that weight, you would lose weight too. It's possible for you too. You know, because there's a lot of times when I would be at work and it never fails that you're trying to not eat certain things and you're trying to push that plate away, that somebody comes in with the most delicious looking dessert or food and you're like, "Hey, I brought this for everybody today." And you're like, "Oh, I can't eat that." And they're like, "Yeah, go ahead and eat it." And they put it in your face, but you have to draw up the courage to say, "Nah," and push it away and say, "No, thank you," because you know that you have a goal and you're dedicated to that. And there's so many times, and it's hard work. It takes dedication and determination to do that. And so I tell people, don't just say, "Well, it's just easier," and then that I just make up my mind and it just falls off of me. It took a lot of hard work and dedication. You know, I'd say to people, "Hey, I did that. It wasn't just because I'm a man that the weight fell off of me because I decided I was going to lose it. I had to work toward that." Now you think, what in the world are you talking about on this devotion? You've been gone for a few days and you went crazy. No, I'm going somewhere. When we look at Paul's writing here and what he's saying here, what does he say in verse 15? He says, "But when it pleased who? When it pleased God. When it pleased God who separated me from my mother's womb." He's talking about his salvation to reveal his Son in me. You know what Paul's saying? He's saying, I didn't do that. I didn't change me. God did that. He's saying that's God, and God did that. What I want to remind us today is this, friend, that sometimes people can point to other things for circumstances and how things are in your life and in my life. Like people used to point, well, it's because I'm a male that I could lose all that weight. No, it was the hard work and dedication that helped me lose that weight. But when I was changed, when you know, people have addictions. And mine wasn't necessarily drugs, but I had addictions in my life. And God broke those free. God broke those chains. It wasn't me. It wasn't my desire. It wasn't my dedication. It wasn't my discipline, because I know at the end of the day, I always fail. But God always comes true and always comes through for me. And he does the same for you. I was reading the testimony just yesterday of a lady that was in RSM, and they had the before picture and the after picture, and it didn't even look like the same person at all. It was amazing, the difference. A woman who had become a meth addict, a woman who had lost her children, and it was when a judge put a photo in front of her face of her child that she didn't even know who that child was, that it broke her, that she went to RSM and that God changed her. And there's programs like RSM that God uses to change people. But even those ministers, Pastor Josh, who I know, would tell you that it ain't them, that it's God, that God does it through them. God may use me to preach the gospel, and I go in front and somebody respond to the message and respond for salvation, but that's not me. God did that. That's God. When you look at your life, when you look at the change, sometimes what I'm trying to get to, the point I'm trying to get to this morning, is we get in our minds somewhere down the line and down the road that it was somehow us. That it was us that changed us, that it was the program that changed us, that it was this or that that changed us. But friend, we always have to keep in mind, in the forefront of our thoughts and the way we live our lives, that's God, that God did that. When somebody comes up and they say, you're such a different person, there's such a joy about you, what is the difference? You say, that's God. God did that. God took me out of that pit. God lifted me up out of that miry clay, and God made me clean. That's God. God did that. How did I change and how did you change? That's God, and God did that. And that is a powerful message for you this morning, to remember to give glory to God, because He deserves all glory. Just like Paul, and he's writing here, he's saying, that's God. God did that. God changed me from persecutor to preacher, from maniac to minister. It was God that did that, and God is doing the same for you. And if you're in that place and you're saying, I need change, well, let me tell you, that same God can do that for you, and you can stand up just like the rest of us, because it's all of what Jesus did for us, and you can say, that's God. God did that. God bless you. Please remember to share this on Facebook. It's you that multiplies the message when you share this on Facebook. Lord willing, we'll see you tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. Central Time. And if you don't have a home church, come see us at Bivens Chapel tonight. Our youth program starts at 6, and our worship service starts at 7. I'm preaching no shield and no spear tonight, talking about how we can overcome helplessness, hopelessness, and a defeated mindset through Jesus Christ. God bless you.